You go to work and you deal with microaggressions and macroaggressions, racism. Oh, and you're a woman, sexism too. Because this is what I get. I will have an emergency situation in the ER. I'm writing orders. I'm saying I need, I might say, I'm gonna say 20 milligrams of labetalol. Right, that's a blood pressure medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And the nurse would go, Doc, you really want 20 milligrams? Questioning my authority. And I'm like, yes, I want 20 milligrams. The blood pressure is really high. He can take it. All right, Doc, just really undermining me.
Wow.
So that happens in particular. A white colleague, a white male.
I
He
was
made
going to
no
say
bones.
white male doctor or nurses or
Nurse, white male
yeah.
nurse. And he
Mm-hmm.
made no bones about it. He really didn't like my presence there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we had a patient come in, and the EKG comes in. I look at it, and I was like, oh, well, this looks like it's abnormal right here. And he was like, no, I don't see anything. I don't think it's there. I said, I'm the doctor, and it's there. So we just pressed forward, and we did the orders as I wanted to do them. And then the labs came back later. So in this particular situation, you don't have time to wait on labs. You have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
treat them. We say time is muscle. You got like 30 minutes to save their heart. And so I was like, no, I see it. It's there. Let's go. And and then afterwards, the labs come back, and then he relooked at the EKG. He's like, it is there. I was like, I am the doctor. That is why they call me doc. I was like, stay in your lane and know your place. And I had to just say it that blatantly that day. But I
Damn.
was like,
And what was the response? I love these stories. I love these stories. Like what
oh,
did he
he was,
say?
for the first time, he had humble pie. He was like, I'm sorry. I was like, somebody could have died.
Yeah.
I was like, if you don't trust me, then keep it to yourself.
Right. Right.
And so, yeah, him, that guy right there, he's gonna end up in a book or something. I know I got to write by him.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Wow. I mean, in that alone, just having somebody's life in your hands, I can't even imagine just the level of stress of that. I don't know if you thought, I don't know if you even thought forward to that when you were like, I want to be an ER doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't even predict how something's going to feel, you know? Yeah, that's stressful. But let me just circle back on the entrepreneurial thing, because I think this is really front in a lot of people's minds, because there's a lot of fear involved with putting yourself out there, just, because you're going from, practicing medicine to public speaking to consulting to putting yourself out there to really like marketing, selling yourself, LinkedIn connections. Can you talk about how if you ever had fear? I think we all have fear about something, but I would assume so. And how you get past it to be able to say, I'm going to send 100 cold emails every single month or week or whatever you just said you did, to make sure that I am doing what I set out to do.
It is. It is a aspect of a mindset shift. I am scared all the time. I am scared I was having a come apart yesterday. Like, is this going to be enough? And I'm talking to my guy, and he's like, babe, you got 3 engagements this week. Everything's fine. That's good money. Plus you have these and you have that. But I was like, you're always wondering, is it enough? Everything, am I doing enough? And you wonder, is this thing going to work? Am I going to be able to pay the people that work with me? Is it? That's business. All right. I hear that people who run multi-million-dollar companies still have that kind of fear. And I think that fear, when it goes away, then you are in a precarious position. You're in a bad position. I know when I take it and extrapolate that as a doctor, every time somebody comes in and it's emergency and they're getting off the ambulance, I'm scared. My heart is beating fast. I'm stressed. I'm like, what must I do to save them? And it's been 20 years. It's never going to go away, and that's fine. I think that's good, because there's now research that there's some types of stress that are good. Now, it's a mindset shift when it comes to stress. Stress is there to protect you. Your fear is there to protect you in the primitive sense, as if, you experience the same kind of stress you would as if you were chased by a saber-toothed tiger, a bear in the woods. And so you get an increased cortisol level, so increased levels of energy and increased adrenaline so that you can run faster, jump high, escape. Your mind does the same thing where you're like, I got to talk to this person about my business. It wants to protect you from rejection, which feels similar to some type of assault. But the mindset shift is, it will hurt, but it won't hurt me.
Yes.
And so, go out and collect 100 no's And then after a while, they dissipate. It doesn't feel like anything. You don't take it personal as badly as you did on that first no. And I go, like, if they didn't want me for this conference, maybe they weren't ready this time. And that's happened where, like, in one instance I didn't get it, but then later I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody did tell me that a long time ago, because I think we struggle with sales so much and selling of ourselves. And then as Black women, we know that we work harder. We had to push harder and do more to get into these spaces. So you're dealing with that. So there's a lot of validation issues, a lot of self-worth issues that you deal with. So the rejection can
I would
be,
say,
yeah,
I'll jump in here because you said sales. One of my major coaches gave me a mindset shift that you're not selling, you're serving.
yes,
And so I stopped trying to sell anything. I don't sell anything really. I don't really do a hard sell. Here's what I do. I, operate in purpose. And so purpose is the best of what you have to give others. So what is what I have to give others? How can I be useful? How can I be of service? Lastly, what problem do I solve?
right.
Right? And so if there's a problem that I solve and there's a person who has this problem, then I think it's wrong of me not to offer them the solution. Right? And that mindset shift has helped me a lot because I don't like selling. And so I give out free content, I write Substack, I post on LinkedIn and write LinkedIn articles, and about to start doing YouTube videos to give away what I know for free. And people worry like, oh, if I give it away, then what is it that I have to sell? You're wrong. Serve. And because in this day and age, nobody needs your information. We could all type it into ChatGPT. What they need is your one-to-one human connection. Mm-hmm. They need your implementation of the idea. They need you, the human. And so just get out there and serve. And then you will start attracting. Because right now, I'm getting into a position that's a lot more comfortable than where I used to be, to where I'm attracting people in my DM saying, can you speak? Can you do?
Yeah.
And that's a lot better than please hire me.
Yeah.
Here's a big mistake I see people making when they want to start a business. They go, I want to start a business. I'm quitting my job. I get that you hate that job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an ER doctor, and guess what? I was hating my job too. I'm talking about visceral. I don't go quit this job. Listen, I'm making high six figures. I got kids. They're in private school. They live, I'm not taking them the cardboard life from the glamorous life. I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So the day that I go, I can't hardly do this anymore. I have to make a plan. Your job should be your first investor in your business. And so what did I do? I cut my expenses to the bare minimum. I do too much, too much movies, too much shopping, too much whatever. And then let's pare down our vacation for this year. Maybe we don't go somewhere out of the country. Maybe we just go to someplace in America and make it simple. And that's what I did. I cut my budget so that I had wiggle room to try this thing.
Right.
And then from there, I tried it. You make a little bit of money. You go, okay, because you have to test it. It's a test kitchen.
Yep.
You go, does anybody want this? And you throw it out there and you get a couple nibbles. She's like, okay, it gives you a little bit more of a dopamine hit, a little bit more faith. Now you can go on. And then you go through your series of hundreds of no's, and you will. And then you get a yes that cancels out all the no's. I remember the first time somebody paid me $10,000 to speak at a conference. I was like, I sat at the computer after the meeting like, that happened.
It happened.
Because I'm used to people, taking advantage of doctors because they say we're altruistic and they think we should do everything for free. Man, I could say I spoke at conferences at least 50, 60 times for free.
Wow.
All right? At least. It's what doctors do. A lot of doctors speak for free. A lot of, different church things and blah, blah, blah. I've even been paid by some churches now. Good money. I was like, oh, y'all got money.
Of course they have money.
Hallelujah. and so I've been paid. And so then once you do that, you get the faith for it. But understand, you don't quit your job. You make a plan, you reverse engineer, and then you draw down. Meaning I went from full-time to 3/4 time. That's called a 0.75. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I said, I can only work half-time. Mm-hmm. Right? And then as you replace one income, you draw down one.
Yep.
Right. And so then I got to the point where I'm making half-time. I'm like, I gotta draw down more because I'm getting many conferences,
Yeah.
and so now I'm only working PRN. Listen, here's the thing that people get. What if it didn't work? What if I failed miserably? Guess what? I still got a medical license. I can go back to it.
Yeah.
Guess what? There's a shortage of doctors. There's so many jobs. My phone rings all the time. I don't know how these people have my texts. I'm like, no, I'm not looking for a job. I don't want it. Every day. And so that's how I get rid of the fear for me.
So let me just ask you one. You're talking about the money, the financial part of it, and but let's just go back real quick to the time investment of it, like because people will say, "Well, I don't have time. I don't have
You're right.
time."
And they go, I don't have time to start a business. Your time wasn't near about what mine was. Do you have the gumption? Do you really want it? Because this is how my day looked. So if I'm working in an ER, if I work in a real ER, some of those shifts are 24 hours. And so you have 12-hour or a 24-hour shift, right? And so when you're full time, you're obligated to do 3 a week. And when you do a shift, the next day you're done, meaning that you can't hardly do anything. Recovering from a 24-hour shift, the next day you're sleeping, and then when you wake up, it's like you're walking zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, there's a lot of time. And so it's a it's a gumption, it's a habit, it's a discipline. And I do it like this. Like particularly on today, I need to do a couple things for my business or I can't go outside. I can't because we wanted to go to the loop and do some things. I can't go until I do these things.
Right.
I write this Substack article and I need to record this YouTube video. Maybe that'll take me a couple hours, but I cannot go until I do those things. It's a discipline. You put an hour while you're working a full-time job, you put 30 minutes minimum to an hour away for this business. And what does that look like? Maybe before you go to work, you spend 15 minutes on LinkedIn connecting with people and commenting, right? And then you go to work, you got to do your regular job, and you get off work, eat you some dinner, relax, but purpose in your heart that what you're going to do at least one money generating activity that day, meaning reach out to someone, something like that. So if you could just spend an hour a day on your business, like 15 minutes here and 45 minutes there, instead of watching Netflix, instead of wasting time, instead of getting on the phone and talking about stuff that doesn't matter, then eventually with those compounding efforts, would you make progress? Yes, you would. You're not going to make as much progress as if you were in the business full time, but you will make progress.
Yeah.
And then you start making progress to the point where you're making a little bit of money on the side that can make it so you can start to draw down in these other activities. And so for me, that's called the power hour. I do the power hour every weekday, meaning 1 hour of focused efforts towards a goal.
Love
For
it.
me, it's speaking. So 1 hour reaching out to speaking decision makers and doing cold emails.